Hello, everyone. Yeah, everything's up and going. Hello, everyone. If you come in, um, welcome to tonight's live Q and A. We're bang on 8 o'clock, so I'm going to give it 5 or 10 minutes to let people come in. Excuse me, I'm actually eating as well at the same time, and we'll just see how many people come in, and we'll see how things go. So we've one person online anyway. Put my phone on silent. Sorry, as I said, I'm running a bit late today, so hopefully we'll see how things go. Anyway, we've one person online. We'll give it about 5 or 10 minutes, and we see will more people come in. We're not online that long anyway. Um, so we'll just see how things go. Well, Military Collectibles is here anyway. Dutch Medic is here. Sorry, guys. As I said, I'm running a bit late, so I'm trying to grab a bite to eat as well at the same time. So, how was your week anyway, guys? Did you have a good week? Nothing strange, nothing weird and wonderful. I have to try and cover the logo so I don't get in trouble. Oh, you know how YouTube can be. So yeah, so some interesting things have happened out throughout the week. I've been chatting with a guy that I know up the north, so hopefully we'll have some World War Two stuff coming in, British World War Two stuff, and I have also been dealing with a guy or talking to a guy in the UK, ex-British Army. So hopefully we will be getting some more banner stuff. So that look forward to those unboxings. They should be coming up now soon. I don't know why is it this thing. Can you hear me, guys? Um, there's normally a little sound bar here in the corner that tells me when I'm speaking, but it's not working. I don't see it tonight. There's been a lot of RAF aircraft activity in the area today. Must be a big exercise. Probably. Do you come from are you near next to an RAF base? The only RAF base that I would probably know is the one in Wales. Well, I'd know Duxford and things like that, famous ones. Pardon me, excuse me. But the one that Prince William was the search and rescue helicopter pilot at, I believe that's in Wales somewhere. Yeah, you can hear me fine. That's perfect. So yeah, as I said, we're going to wait till you can start shooting questions at me whenever you want. If you want to ask questions, or you can we'll just chat whatever the hell you want to chat about, really. It's only gone live there now that or the notifications are only after coming up there now that I've gone live. So we should have a few more people coming in. Dutch Medic. That's an interesting call sign. I take it you're a Dutch medic. And obviously, we know who Military Collectibles is. So we do. Pancakes. Lovely. We have 3 people in now. They do a lot of low flying over here in the Lake District last week. We saw one of these weird Osprey vertical takeoff. Yeah, the Osprey. There was, I remember, was it in Sky News? I seen that there was a bad Osprey accident in the States where I think there was a couple of people killed. The Osprey is very unusual type of helicopter. Steel helmet Stan is in. Welcome, Stan. How are things? I loved your video on the museum today. We're actually talking about RAF stuff there with Military Collectibles. He's saying that there's planes around his area. New to the channel, Steel Helmet Stan sent me. Very good. Thanks for coming. Yeah, Steel Helmet Stan there. He's a good guy. Yeah, I actually like your merchandise. I must get a Steel Helmet Stand T-shirt to wear when I'm painting or something. But yeah, it looks good. So welcome, Jim. Welcome. So if you're new to the channel, what we do is we'll just chat about everything and anything. And if you have questions about militaria that I may be able to answer, I will try and answer them. For those of you that are new, I collect Op Banner, which was Northern Ireland Troubles. I collect World War II. I collect First World War, and I collect Australian Vietnam. And I'm also an ex-Irish Army soldier. So if you want to throw questions at me that you think I might know the answer to, I'm more than welcome to answer them. So, and I'm eating as well at the same time. So forgive me. Do I have anything Soviet related? I do, but not here. I actually have, Stan, I'm going to give this away to you, but I do actually have a uniform that is on the way to Steel Helmet Stan, because he collects more Soviet stuff, things like that. That I have a uniform going to him that was actually a reproduction. Sorry, it's an original of what the cleanup crews would have used in Chernobyl. So that's on the way to Stan. I did have an awful lot of Chechenian stuff, but I've gotten rid of it all. I just don't collect the Russian stuff, and I actually ended up collecting a lot of it in a job lot. So that's how I ended up with a lot of Russian stuff. So I hope that answers your question. I possibly may collect some World War II items if I ever came across them in Russian stuff, but it's mainly American and British I collect in World War II. So next question. Where are we? Related stuff. Yeah, cheers. I forgot to say that the Vulcan crashed in the northeast in January 1971. All crew survived. Yeah, I will have to get some t-shirts done. You will have to get some t-shirts done. Yeah, they'll be good for. I'm sure I can use a painting or something, and if Military Collectibles get it there, he can use it in the toilet or something. We'll figure out something to use them with. Military Collectibles. Are you planning any more steel helmet restorations? I actually am. I have a British Brody one that hopefully will be getting redone, and I actually have one of these. Oh, excuse me! Don't fall! Don't fall! This is the Israeli helmet that the Irish Army used to wear. In a size medium, and this is dated. There's actually no date on that, but there is, or say 1985. This was used by possibly either the Navy or the Rangers because they painted it green. This was originally olive, so, and you can see here it's been sitting in the shade and there's paint drops and everything on it. So this will be getting redone, and I will be doing it up and showing you how to do it as the Irish had them in the 80s and 90s before we got the. First of all, we got the green helmet cover, and then we went to DPM helmet covers. So that'll be coming up. And I also have an East German helmet that needs a touch up that we will do a reconstruction or a reproduction or a restoration video on, I should say. Where have we gone now? Restorations or rebuilds. Yeah, so that's covered. Bon appetit. Thank you very much. Yes, I'm getting there. I enjoyed your Royal Marines headgear video. Thank you for your service. Don't have to thank me for my service, lads. I enjoyed it. It was something I wanted to do, and I enjoyed doing it. And unfortunately, I got injured. Otherwise, I would have stayed in. But sure, that's a different kettle of fish. Sweet. Thank you. Who else have we? Cheers, John. It's not radioactive, is it? No, it's not. I checked it with a Geico counter. It's fine. It should be okay. You don't have. You'll be fine. Just don't worry about it. Just don't let the wife near it. I smoked a cigarette from a Vietnam War ration on New Year's Eve a couple of years back. Surprisingly smooth. Are you planning to do ration review at any point? I have thought about it. I actually do have original cigarettes on that helmet, but I don't know if they have been open, like, but I don't know if they're very smokable, and especially I'm off the cigarettes with nearly 5 years now. Yeah, I don't think these are very smokable. But yeah, so they won't be getting smoked anyway. But yeah, I have thought about doing ration reviews and stuff like that. We'll look into it and we'll see. Possibly, I do. There are some guys that do that and they do smoke and stuff. And try ration packs. There's actually a Russian guy. Well, he's living in America now, and he's famous for doing that ration reviews and things like that. Nice helmet. Looking forward to the end result. Yeah, hopefully we'll be doing that. That reconstruction or reproduction or restoration seem to be popular. So I do have a few bits and pieces around the place that can be done, and we'll show you how to use that. I was asked by a gentleman, because he has Denix, how I managed to make this actually look, because this is a Denix, how I actually got rid of the red, because when you get a Denix, it's a weird, the furniture on it is a weird red, ox blood red nearly. So I am possibly going to get well, I am getting them. When I'm getting them, I don't know. But excuse me, I'm getting a Denix M1 Grand, and I'm getting a Denix K98. So they will be done, and I'll show you how to do it, how to change them and make them look not red, if you get me. It's a shame, actually. Denix, I don't know if they do, but I can't find it. They don't do a Mark IV. And I've been trying to get a Mark IV for a while because they were used in Northern Ireland and they were used by the Irish Army. And for some reason, I can only come across deactivated ones, and they're up on €400 and €500. Sorry, more, because that's sterling. So yeah, it'll be interesting. Is the symbol of your channel to do with the Polish resistance? Yes, it has. It's the Polish Underground Army. I am friends with a lot of Polish guys, and when we went to Poland, we went to Krakow a few years back as a group. There's about 5 or 6 of us that went. We went to Krakow, as I said, but we did Auschwitz, Birkenau, the 2 concentration camps. We did Schindler's Factory. We did the Underground Army stamp, or Underground Army Museum, and that picture is actually taken from that, and that's where it came from. Not many people know what it is. It was a sort of an inside joke when I started doing the channel with my Polish friends, that they said, look, you hang around with us most of the time anyway, and we're Polish, so we're adopting you, so we want you to use that. So that's why I did it. And just a little bit of trivia about it. What is your favorite camo pattern? It can be from anywhere. I live in Poland. That symbol is known as the anchor. Yeah. There are different variants of it. The Scouts have one with like an umbrella on the top of it, but it's basically the same P with the anchor underneath it. My favorite camouflage, I like the Irish camouflage, the paddy camouflage, but there's talks of them changing to multicam, or their own variant of multicam. So that is in a 4-year pipeline, I believe, which is a bit strange if you ask me, because they literally just changed the Navy's uniform to a DPM in the last week or two. So to change it to a multicam now is going to be a bit strange. I like the Swedish, the Flecktarn, the Finns, and the new Spanish multicam is actually nice. They'd probably be my top 3. But the Irish, definitely, if I could pick the Irish. The Irish and the British, sorry, that's ERDL, that's different, but the British stuff here, they were designed specifically for Europe. So, I mean, if you had a conflict, touch wood, again, in Europe, they would probably be the main type of camouflages. I don't think multicam would work in Europe. It's very light. Oh, he's batting just trying to scare me. But the multicam is very light. I don't think it'll work well in European conditions. So yeah, they'd be my favorite camouflage. What was the next one we had? Favorite camouflage. When did you start collecting militaria? Was it a reason that I started? I started collecting because I had family um, that were in the military, and I grew up around it and stuff like that. And then I eventually joined myself. Uh, so yeah, I've always had a connection for the military. I did for a brief stage want to become a firefighter, but that weaned out, and I ended up a soldier. So okay, did you go to the aviation museum in Krakow? No, I didn't go to the aviation museum in Krakow. Um, we went to the salt mines. It was the only non-military type thing we did. Um, we did Krakow Castle. They have a thing then at the bottom of the castle called the Bastion, which is the last part of the city walls. Um, Auschwitz first, which was I didn't. Well, I did know, but I didn't realize how far apart they were. That you have actually Auschwitz, which is one camp. That was originally. Forgive me now till I get this right in my head. That was originally a Polish cavalry barracks with a big square in the middle of it. And when the Germans came and they took it over, that became Auschwitz 1 or Camp 1. And then Birkenau, which is 4 miles away, where is the famous picture, or the famous, whenever you think of the concentration camps, is the famous railhead going into it and the big arch, and you have two buildings at either side of the railhead. That's actually Birkenau. So it was a bit strange because when you're thinking of films and movies and stuff like that, when you think of the Holocaust, that you think of Auschwitz and Birkenau being close enough to each other, but they're not. They're actually 4 miles apart, and it's very, very interesting. It's it's a strange place to go see. I recommend you to go see it, but you need to know what you're getting yourself in for. It needs to be seen, if you get me, because people need to learn from history. Um, so I do think you should go and see it, but I don't think it's not a nice place. Let's put it that way. What Denix? The Denix Grand is excellent, but under repeated use of cockle lever can break off the screw which holds it in place and is not a screw. Is not really a screw. Oh yeah. Okay, so that's an interesting bit about the Denex M1 Grand. Um, I bear that in mind when I do eventually get my one, and just make sure I don't do that. Uh, you'll need to go down the road of an airsoft Mark IV. I have seen them, but they're absolutely ridiculously expensive. You nearly pick up a D-Act for the same price that you pick up a Mark IV. So hopefully now that COVID and stuff are lifting, um, my dog is attacking someone. He'll be all right. Hopefully now that COVID is lifting and stuff, that I can start getting the shows again, and I might eventually pick up one there. Come across a cheap enough one. Well, I won't say cheap enough one, but one that's a good enough price. The Aviation Museum has Hermann Goring's private World War One airplane collection in it. Very interesting. Oh, really? I didn't even. I wasn't even. I didn't know he. I knew what one of them collected wine. It was a famous scene in Band of Brothers where the lads went into the Eagle's Nest, and they found massive wine cellars because all the famous generals were around that area. But I didn't know he actually had his own private airplane collection. That's interesting. Almost missed all of this. Lucky me. Almost missed all of this. Lucky me. Well, you're welcome back, Padraig. We're not that long on. We're just chatting, really. I also went to the camp. Very hard to get your head around the people. What people are capable. Yeah, it's oh, it's so hard. It's hard to describe. It's hard to put into words. It's something that you need to experience. Um, like the people can be so cruel and literally manufacture a death camp, a death factory. That it's absolutely outstanding, or I won't say outstanding. Sorry, forgive me on that one, but horrific. Horrific would probably be the word. And that's why I suppose somebody asked me before, or I think it was in last week's stream, about collecting World War Two stuff. Do I collect German World War Two stuff? And why, like as I said on that stream, I only have two side caps belong to the SS, and I actually have a smock as well somewhere. I realised that I have a smock somewhere. And why did I hold on to them? Because I find it so strange that you can indoctrinate or brainwash a group of people to that extent that they don't see evil, like that you literally, and like it wasn't a small group of people. It wasn't like 5 or 6 serial killers that were just let loose. There was thousands and thousands and thousands of men in these SS divisions, um, that were. I'm sorry, but it's been recorded that a lot of SS were involved in war crimes or involved in homicides, murders, whatever you want to call them. And I find that interesting that you can have that little toll on life, that you can cause something like that. And unfortunately, we've seen it happen lately. I mean, you have Iraq, you have Yugoslavia. I mean, massive Holocaust went on in Yugoslavia that is forgotten. If you ask me, people don't really recognize it between the Bosnian Serbs and the Croats, and oh, it was a big mess altogether over there. The worst concentration camp now in Poland was Gross Roden, as it is a stone mine and command. Is that the one that's outside? Is that the one? I can't think of the name of it. There is another concentration camp. There's nothing left of it now, and it's just outside Krakow as well. Sorry, that's another thing we went to see in Krakow when we were there. We went to see the Jewish ghetto, or what's left of the Jewish ghetto. Um, Hertz, Simon Hertz, I think was the name of the commandant, and it was just outside Krakow, and that was a stone mine as well. So when they liquidated and Schindler's factory, the staff in Schindler's factory came from that concentration camp as well, or they were saved from that concentration camp. Get away, fly, go away. Um, Actually, that's a good sign. I need to put out mothballs if there's moths in it. If that was a moth or a fly, I'm not sure. But yeah, that's outside Krakow as well. It's now a big national park, which is eerie because you have these kids cycling bikes in and around it and stuff, and playing, and you're going, hang on a second, like 50 years ago, well, when we were there was probably 75, 80 years ago. You're going, did you realize what happened in this place? And that is hard to get into your head as well. Mike Feltman Productions on YouTube has a video on Goring's collection. Well, I must look that one up. Mike Feltman's Productions on YouTube. Okay, that's cool. The book Ordinary Men is very disturbing and revealing on the side of the human brutality and about the Germans in the World War II. Yeah, look, I'm not going to get into it. I'm not going to argue over the politics and over the right and wrongs. I mean, there's right and wrong in every war. There's atrocities in every war. Um, but that's the part that I find interesting. I mean, like even after World War II, I mean, Stalin and Russia and stuff like that, they carried out some atrocities in Eastern Europe. Um, I mean, the Americans and the British weren't far behind from carrying out atrocities in their past as well. When you look at the Native Americans, when you look at certain things they did in the Boer War, well, not the Americans, the British did in the Boer War. Um, yeah, so I mean, like things have been carried out by nations across the board in conflicts. Um, some of them get more publicity, some of them get more recognition than others. Yeah, so yeah, it's a hard one. Gross Roshin is now in Poland's, which is in the lower bottom left of Poland. Commandant Arthur Rutz was not a nice fella. I must look up that one. I don't know about that one. That concentration camp, which is strange. Like when you think of concentration camps, you think of like Auschwitz, Birkenau, Dachau, Sobibor. Can I think of any others? Like there you go. I can think of four. And when you're there, there's a map of all the other different concentration camps, and there was hundreds of them, and like strange thing. All sides have a skeleton in their closet regarding war crimes. Yeah, that's exactly it. Um, yeah, I mean, the Irish to each other during the Civil War. They did horrible things to each other. Like, there's a famous incident. I'm not going to because I can't remember the actual exact place, but um, during the War of Independence, or sorry, not the War of Independence, the Irish Civil War, you had the Irish Free State and you had the IRA, or the new IRA, shall we call them? Um, and they were obviously fighting. One was okay with the idea of a free state, and the other one was okay with the idea of a republic. Um, Ballyseedy, that's the place. Um, Free State soldiers were driving down the road, and I think one of them was killed initially, first of all, and then there was another landmine that didn't explode, or another explosion that was supposed to go off that didn't go off. So the Free State lads, I mean, it's Ireland small enough. They had an idea who was IRA in the area, and they had guys in prison that were IRA. Literally took them out, taught them defuse this. The lads didn't have a clue how to defuse it, so they strapped them to the outside of the explosive and blew them up. There you go. So everybody has done it. My friend Peter has a small museum up in Gattelbergen Camp 21. It was a black camp where they sent SS hard cases. Oh, okay, that's very interesting. Um, I must look up all these things that you're telling me about, guys. I live near Gross Rosen, which is why I know how much about it. And there was over 100 satellite camps. It was very much more brutal than Birkenau because of the sadistic nature of the commandant. See, like, I mean, this is it. Like, people are brought to all these. Like, I mean, I suppose Schindler's List is the famous one about Auschwitz, Birkenau. Well, not really Auschwitz, Birkenau. It was brought up in it, but about Kurtz Hertz. I can never pronounce his name. And about how brutal and stuff he was. They killed 19 national soldiers after landmines that day. Yeah. So I mean, like there was. Sorry, I get back to that first one. I didn't know that like 100. Was it 100 satellite camps just for that camp, or was there 100 satellite camps in that area? Um, they killed 9 national soldiers with landmines that day. Yeah. See, I mean, that's what happened. Like you guys are going out on patrols or whatever, and not that I'm going to justify it, but guys are going out on patrols that day or whatever, and they're getting killed or their friends are getting killed and things like that, and then they come back and there's a load of guys inside in the prison cell that they've been fighting against. Things are going to happen. Yeah, it's strange, especially in civil wars and things like that. Um, yeah, it's a tough one to go by. Sorry, Les, I'm just going to have a last mouthful of something here. Mm. Thank you. That's it. No, that's all my pancakes. Led. Excuse me for speaking with my mouth full. Oh, thank you. I'm such a rush all day today. But where's everyone from anyway? I know we have an Irish guy there, Neil. Podrick's Irish. Military Collectibles is English. Steel Helmet Stan is English. Dutch Medic, I presume you're from Netherlands area. And I don't know if you're Polish, Jim, or are you where are you from? But uh, the Irish were more fighting themselves than the British. Yeah, there's an old Irish saying that if we're not fighting somebody else, we're fighting each other. And unfortunately, that's a very, very true saying. Dutch Medic is Scottish. There we go. Um, yeah, so yeah, it's a very interesting one. It's a strange one. Like the Irish history, Irish culture, we've always been fighting somebody, be it the Normans, be it the English, be it the Vikings, be it there's always been something going on. You mentioned Audie Murphy last stream. Audie Michael Michael Kearney is working on a project called Revel. Have you seen it? Also, Leitrim for the win. I haven't actually. I haven't seen that. I must look up that. Yeah, Audie Murphy. Audie Murphy was the most decorated soldier, American soldier of the Second World War, and his ancestors are from Tipperary, I believe. Um, Forgive me if I'm wrong, but yeah. So he does have Irish ancestry, as most of America does. They all claim to be Irish at one point in time. I'm Scottish born, raised in England, and live in Poland. Well, you're really mixed up, Jim. But yeah, welcome to the live stream anyway. Five EC winners were in the old IRA, and then Free State Army, mad history. Yeah, same as my great grandfather. He was a professional soldier with the British Army. He fought in India in 1902. Sorry, he fought in the Second World or the Boer War. He fought in India in 1902, and I believe he left the army for a period of time, and then was recalled during the First World War. And he fought the whole way through the First World War. And when he came back, like the War of Independence, sorry, like people think 1916. People, when 1916 happened, those lads were actually taken out of the GPO. Those Irishmen were taken out of the GPO, and the locals were throwing stones at them, rotten fruit, everything and anything, because most Irishmen at that stage were in France, fighting in France. A lot of Irishmen were fighting in France, and the women and the wives back here could only get their pensions or get their money that the guys were sending home through the post office. And now this shower of upstarts are after burning the post office. So how are we supposed to get our money? So those lads were actually ostracized when they came out of the GPO. And the only thing that changed was the fact that they executed them. If they'd imprisoned them, or if they'd have done something else, who knows what could have happened? It was the fact that they killed them. But yeah, it was a strange thing. But getting back to my own great grandfather, he came back from the First World War, said, "Look, I've done fighting. I've had my wars. I'm done." And he was going to get, this is the family story anyway. He was going to get his pension in the post office, and apparently some black and tans, as we call them, were walking down the road against him. And supposedly, when they were on the curb, you were supposed to get off the curb and walk on the road. My grandfather didn't do that. My great grandfather didn't do that, and got a few digs and a slap in the head and beat up a small bit for not doing that. Carried on his merry way, went down and got the pension, came back, and knew some guys that were in the IRA and said, "Okay, lads, I will show you. If you get weapons or if you have tactics and stuff, I will show you what to do. But I'm not going to fight." And that's it. And that's what he did. So there was a family joke. I barely remember this, but it was a family joke. He was 100 and something when he passed away. But he used to go down to the bank or the post office of a Tuesday, and he would collect his British Army pension. He would go down on Friday, and he would collect his IRA pension. And then he'd go to the pub and have a few drinks for himself. So he used to get both pensions, which was quite funny. And there you go, another bit of mixed up history. So 1 second there now, there's a lot of questions just after coming in, so I'm going to try and scroll back. I'm from Glasgow. Dutch Medic is from Glasgow. Okay. Over in the States, Midwest, hot as... Okay, well, there you go. That's warm anyway. Corky? Oh, Corkman. Yeah, I've heard about 1916. 1916 is what they call the start of the War of Independence, pretty much. I'm from Anderston. Okay, you're talking about it. Do you think things would have been different if the Brits hadn't executed them? They possibly could have been. The War for Independence mightn't have started till later and stuff like that. Like the War for Independence didn't really kick off until 1918, 1919, 1920, until an awful lot of lads had come back from France. And you have to remember, an awful lot of those lads that went to France were promised home rule when they got back. And the fact that they weren't given home rule, they were like, "Oh, hang on a second, I'm after fighting in France for the last 4 years for you, and you've reneged on what you said." And the country was full of trained soldiers that had no war to fight, but they had their own war to fight back here. So yeah, the War of Independence didn't really kick off until after the First World War, until after 1918. But living in Glasgow, that's what the lads are all talking about. Also, Irish regiments and divisions from the south were dealt with English country regiments to prevent uprisings in them in the trenches after 1916. That is true, and it is not true. The 16th Irish Division and the 36th Ulster Division had Catholics, had Protestants in both sets, in both groups. Uh, there was a rumour that they were afraid of the Irish uprising or the Irish regiments raising up. The only regiment that actually raised up to a certain degree was the Connacht Rangers in India. I think it was India they were. They were somewhere anyway. It was a group of the Connacht Rangers, and they executed 20 or 30 of them, I think it was. So they were the only ones that actually rose up against it. The IRA were very good at propaganda, so they started sending newspapers to the guys in France, and the Irish regiments of what was happening here, if you get me. People being thrown out of their houses, houses being burnt, villages being burnt, things like that. So yeah, it was a crazy, crazy time. Um, Many good activities were destroyed during those years, such as the custom house. Yeah, um, that there's a famous, like if you want to try and find out anything about any Irishman that served in the British Army or anything like that, best of luck to you because an awful lot of these records were burnt, they were destroyed. Um, an awful lot of old RIC guys payback what came to them. Whereas when the the IRA went into these old police barracks and army barracks and stuff, in some cases they didn't destroy any of the paperwork. So I mean, these guys then had a full list of informers, list of um, turncoats, list of RIC men's list, and there was massive, massive repercussions over it. Like, um, one second now, where am I? Have you heard about the search for the Bosnian and Afghanistan veterans in the Belgian forest? Have you heard about the search for the Bosnia and Afghanistan? Is that the Belgian guy? I heard it was a Belgian soldier after going. Yeah, it must be him. Obviously, it's Belgian forest. Um, I seen it in the news today. He's gone mad. He's had a breakdown or something, but he literally took off fully kitted up and stuff in Belgium, and there were army and everyone were out looking for him. So that might be him. So that's something to keep an eye on. Did they still deep fry Mars bars in Glasgow? Dutch medic, hi Jim. Was 1916 the Easter Rising? I watched a superb film about that. Yeah, the 1916 was the Easter Rising. It was Easter weekend, Sunday, Easter Sunday, or Easter Monday of 1916. Um, there's a few good films about it. The Wind That Shakes the Barley covers the Civil War and a bit of the War of Independence. Michael Collins is a very good film if you want to watch about 1916. Michael Collins, depending who you ask, what field they fall under, but to an awful lot of people, Michael Collins won the War of Independence. In my eyes, he did. He was very, very instrumental in it, um, and very, very superb for um, doing what he did. He literally brought the British Empire to its knees. Where have I gone? I've heard about them, but not seen any chippies selling them at the moment. The deep fried Mars bars. Um, how rare are Vickers helmets in Ireland, and how much did they cost? The last Vickers helmet I seen for sale was €400, and that's 2 years ago. They're very hard to come by. They are hard to come by. Um, best place to get them is at a military show and something like that. Um, they're pretty much the Vickers helmet are pretty much the same as the Steel Helm 1916, the German version. It's out the easy way to look at it. But I'll keep an eye out for you, Stan. If you're looking for one, I'll keep an eye out for you. Three more popular in Edinburgh. Oh, they're more popular, and it's the deep fried Mars bars. Yeah, in the Punjab in 1920. The Rangers rose, yeah. So that was when the Rangers lost it in 1920. So yeah, so I mean, at that stage, you had the auxiliaries, you had the Black and Tans, you had Cork City was after being burnt. Dublin was pretty much a no-go zone. 1920, would you have had the first Bloody Sunday at that stage? I think you would have. So yeah, that's what happened there. Steel helmets stand more chance of buying one in the UK. They're yeah, you can they did somehow manage to get to the UK. I do remember hearing a guy one time telling me about they were clearing out the stores in the Curragh, and they came across a load of Brody helmets and Vickers helmets, and the lads brought them down to the range and they shot them, blew them up, rolled over them in jeeps and everything to crush them to get rid of them, and they were sold to scrap. So yeah, hi chum, is your shop? What? Andrew Moore. Hi chum, where is your shop? I don't have a shop. I don't have a shop. I'm just a military collector. Belgian veteran have been wanted for days by more than 350 men from the army, police, and special forces. He must be good at it. So if they haven't found him for days, let's hope that ends okay. CJ, that's military collectibles. I don't know how to highlight your comment, but bloody hell, that's a price. Yeah, they are expensive. They are expensive. The Vickers helmets stand, they're very, very rare to come by. This mad how the IRA brigades started in Ballinamore. They just started drilling in a field beside the RIC barracks. The commanding officer Michael McNamee was arrested for 11 months. Yeah, I mean, it's like there was an awful lot of too. I mean, like an awful lot of the RIC men were Catholic guys from the south and sort of would turn a blind eye on certain occasions. There are recorded situations of them turning a blind eye to things that happened. Um, but like, if you really, really want to get back into the Irish politics and stuff, like um, before the First World War, there was going to be a civil war in Ireland between the North and the South, whereas we had been granted in the South, we had been granted home rule, and in the North, um, certain individuals were scared of that possibility because of, shall we say, that they had the majority of, and they were getting their own way in the North, and they were afraid that if things happened in the South, what was going to happen. Um, so you had the UVF, the Ulster Volunteer Force, was formed to fight against Home Rule, and you had the Irish Volunteers that was formed to fight for Home Rule, and the Irish Volunteers at one stage was actually being backed by the British, because they said, okay, well, if there's a civil war there, if there's an uprising there, these lads can fight it, and we don't have to worry about it. So yeah, it's a strange history when you dig into it and you go back to it. Like Liam Neeson in Michael Collins was the film I saw. Yeah, that was the film you saw, Michael Collins with Liam Neeson. That's a very, very good film. What do you think of Mad Mick? Oh, Mad Mick, yeah. Michael Collins was known as Mad Mick, or the tall fella. Ryan's Daughter, a good film about Ireland in World War One. Yeah, that's another good film. Bit Hollywoody if you get me, but yeah, it's a good film. Do you sell online only? No, I don't sell online at all. Andrew, I don't sell equipment. I do actually have sorry, I take that back. I do actually have an eBay page that I sell items on occasionally, but nothing I don't normally sell. If I have seconds and stuff like that, or if I'm trying to get rid of stuff, I might sell them, but that's about it. Military collectible steel helmet stand. Yeah, there is a going price. I've had one, but traded it to Yank years ago. I never had another. I saw them, but they are all dented, and yeah, there's some of them in very, very bad condition. By the way, John, I am expecting my 40th helmet next week. Oh well, me and Stan had a bet on that. He had 2 months to get up to 40, so it seems he's doing it. I seem to remember you said 40 before June. Yeah, so you're getting good. I need an FCA battle dress. Rifleman Moore one are really nice. He might actually be in. Rifleman Moore might be around tonight. I'm not sure. I haven't seen him pop up in the comments, but he comes in sometimes and just sits back and drinks tea. But the FCA battle dress, there is one that he doesn't have that I'm on the lookout for him, and that's the denim version. But yeah, those FCA battle dress uniforms that he got are very very nice. Blue Max is a good movie. Good World War One film made in Ireland. Defence Forces uses extras. Yeah, there was a few other ones. Saving Private Ryan, the Irish Army were used as extras. The Window Checks the Barley, there was guys actually used as extras in that. Um, Braveheart, there was guys used as extras in that. There's a few other films and documentaries that they've been using. Steel Helmet Stan actually came up, had a good recommendation on a video that he watched, black and white. Days of Glory. Is it Days of Glory, Stan? The one about the French mutiny in Verdun? Days of Glory, I think was the name that he would call it. That I actually seen that during the week, thanks to Steel Helmet Stan's recommendation, and that's a very good film as well. Do you think the film 71 was realistic and left a massive impression in my mind? Yes, yes and no. Um, 71. What can I tell you about 71 without getting myself into trouble? 71 was a good film in the fact that it told you how much things were mixed up there. Um, Absolute craziness. There are actually some of the guys online that I don't know if they're in, I haven't seen their names yet, are from Belfast, up around that area, and they'll even tell you. When the British Army initially went into Northern Ireland, they were loved by the Catholic community. They were brought tea, they were brought sandwiches, they were looked after. And I've heard stories of British soldiers um, standing in a group of kids or teenagers, and the teenagers standing around them, so the lads could have a sneaky cigarette and something to eat without the fear of being attacked or the fear of being shot. So, like, there's like not everybody up there headed in for the British Army. Not everybody up there headed in for the RUC. Not everybody up there headed in for the UDR. And I mean, like, the UDR is probably one of the most famous regiments for causing trouble up there. But not everyone in the UDR was a bad person either. Um, did things happen up there that shouldn't have happened? Yes. I mean, there's courts of inquiries and stuff going on now at the minute, and there's judicial things going on. I mean, that's still coming out. I mean, like, you have the Miami Show Band massacre. British Army have been proven, or British agents have been proven to have been involved in that. The Ballymena massacre, the inquest was just done on it there last week. Bloody Sunday. Um, but, like, I mean, they're just a handful of stuff. I mean, there was atrocities carried out on the other side as well by the IRA. I mean, it was just a higgle-piggle mess of everything. Like, 71 is a bit sensationalist. Yeah, it's there are some parts that did happen, and there's other parts of it that wouldn't have happened. I mean, like, if they'd have known there was a British army left or British soldier left out there on his own, they would have sent out everything to try and get him back. Unfortunately, but then again, you had other incidents that happened that things didn't go right. Pat's the Glory. Pat's the Glory. That's the film, not Days of Glory. Pat's the Glory. Very good film. Pat's the Glory is great. My great grand uncle, Captain John T. Provost, was the advisor, and the film served in the 69th Infantry in World War One, an old IRA and Free State Army, ended up in as a Major General. The 69th, if that's are you the chap that's in America? The 69th New York or 69th Infantry Division was a famous Irish division in the American Army. Steel helmet stand true. There is always a chance the car boots sale may turn one up, but everyone's internet survey nowadays. I've had another, but that would have to be. What are you talking about? Are you still on about the Vickers helmet? Yeah. If I find one, I'll keep an eye on it for you, Stan. I'm sure they're around somewhere. My auntie is from Cork, and she always talked highly of the British-Irish relationship. She married my English uncle, and hated bad talk, as she was called it. Yeah, I mean, but that's it. Like, I mean, a soldier at the end of the day follows orders. It's the politicians and stuff like that that are the ones that are giving the orders. I mean, if you don't keep the chains on the dog is going to let loose. Like, I mean, you have to weigh up what to do, and then you have to forgive and forget too, to a certain degree. I mean, which is hard to say. Like, when you see some of the things that were done, you're like, "On how the hell do you forget that?" But you need to move on. You need to move forward. If you get me. Sorry, I have to cover the label so I don't get in trouble with all YouTubers. Yeah, so this is interesting enough. We're at 50 minutes already, and I didn't even realise. So keep shooting away with the questions, lads, and I've nothing to do. We'll stay online as long as you keep asking me questions. Um, a very good. I have it somewhere, wherever I put them. I actually have my queen is no the red label. If you get me, that's what I'm drinking. Um, I actually had them today. I was chatting to a guy um, up in the north that I get stuff off. Um, that I get off banner stuff off because he's obviously closer to the border and he comes across car boot sales and things like that. So he always keeps an eye out for me. And we were actually chatting about um, something like that. Reference Vickers helmets. Militaria have one for sale. Reminds civil defence white helmet. Yeah, like 684 sterling. So that's probably about €600, give or take, roughly. Um, excuse me. Yeah, sorry, I've lost my train of thought. What was I talking about? Oh yes, we were talking about simple things to collect from the Northern Ireland Troubles, and just small little bits and pieces. Now, if I can remember where I have it left, because he was asking me what was the most unusual thing that I had in my collection, and I actually found it here the other day. Well, I won't say it's unusual, but you don't. It's very interesting. Sorry, I'm digging through a drawer here. I don't know if the camera picked that up. They're interview tapes from the Royal Ulster Constabulary that have never been used. They're still in the packet. Um, that's the most interesting or the most quirky thing I'd say in my collection. Those of you under the age of 30 probably don't know what a cassette tape is, but that's a cassette tape, guys. And one of these and a cassette tape are very, very important. And those of you that know what cassette tapes are will know what they are or what the connection is. Oh, sorry, the movie. Yeah, that was filmed in Ireland. Um, I'm the beer spotter. I have a care set on them. Yeah, that movie was saying. I mean, touching 500 sterling is getting into M42 territory. Yeah, they are very sought after and they're very rare. I have a baton round in my collection. I have a baton round. I have a few baton rounds. Um, I really need to start remembering where I put stuff. I suppose another unusual thing I have in my collection. Now, is this the. No, that's the other one. Where's the other one? Is you don't see them wearing them much. But is their drinks bottles that they used to have on their webbing or on their duty belt. You'd mainly see them wearing them during public order, riot order. There you go. Or you see, with a bit of a dent in it. Hopefully, it wasn't thrown at someone. What is my favorite buying situation? Military fair, antique fair, car boot sale, or online? One second, I missed one. Use the wind spoons tight after the triangle. Being there, yeah, being there with the tapes, yeah, to wind the tapes. That's exactly what the pen is for, is to wind the spoon or to wind them up after you pull out the fucking ribbon and every, pardon my French, pardon the ribbon comes everywhere and you can't put it back together. John, which is your favourite buying situation? Military fairs, antique fairs, car boot sales, or online? I use them all. Possibly over the last year because antiques, because we were literally still not fully out of lockdown, but over the last year, 2 years, year and a bit in Ireland, military shows, antiques were classified, or antique shops, second-hand shops, stuff like that, were classified as non-essential, so they've been closed. So literally everything that I've been purchasing and stuff has been through word of mouth of guys that I know or online. So that's how I've been doing most of my purchasing. But yeah, I would use all of them when I could. One of the best books on Operation Banner is Nick Van der Blur's British Army in Northern Ireland. There is another good one, but I don't know if it's still in print. I'll show it to you there now, 1 second. Spent many hours winding cassettes with a pen. Yeah. New investigation into the Srebrenica massacre in Bosnia, where the British, Dutch, UN Serbs carried out. Yeah, I mean, when you're on UN duty, it's very hard too because you can't get involved to a certain degree. Look, I mean, I'm not getting into it. If there's an investigation going into it, let's see what happens. You could record a bit of state camera or banana ram on them, yeah. Or generally when you'd have, what was the name of the station? Atlantic 252 was the famous radio station here in Ireland, and you'd 10,000 Serbs and 400 Dutch soldiers versus 400 jets. So there you go. That's crazy odds, like. But yeah, you'd be recording. You'd have one cassette player, and you'd have the other cassette player or the radio, and you'd be playing Atlantic 252, and you'd be waiting for the DJ to start talking, so you could hit the stop button, and then you record the next song, making your cassette tapes. Like, 1 second there, no military collectibles. I'm just going to show you the books that I know that are good. Now, there's 2 volumes to them. They are the British Army in Ulster, Volume 1, and they're by that chap. And then there's the Volume 2. Yeah. I don't know if they're still printed. These were printed in the 70s. But like they literally go by year to year and tell you what happened and stuff like that. So they're very, very good books. And they literally go into 1 second here now. So you have the Royal Anglicans. What happened to the Royal Anglicans when they were in Banner? Then you have army vehicles that were used. So yeah, they're very, very good books. So there's Volume 1, and then there's Volume 2. If you come across those books, I'd say you'll have to buy them secondhand. Now at this stage, or even in a bookstop. When were they printed, actually? Yeah. So the first print was in 1976, and the second print was in 1977. So you'll definitely have to try and find them. Those books look awesome. My wish list has just gotten longer. Yeah, they're two very, very good books. Look for them online and stuff like that, or even in specialist book markets. They're tough to come by. Thankfully, I got them when I bought a massive collection in the north of Banner stuff. I have other books as well in relation to Banner things and stuff like that. Yeah, so we've covered all those questions. So yeah, the what other books is good that I have? Sorry, excuse me. Hmm. 1 second, or now to see what other good books I have. Oh, for those of you that collect World War I stuff, that's a very very good book. This is looking backwards to me now, so I don't know if it's the right way around to you, but that's another good book when it comes to collecting. Peter Doyle is the author of it, or the writer. Um, these I think can be gotten fairly no, still to this day, and it literally breaks down everything. When you're talking about collecting, like the French helmets, British helmets, what to look for, different variants of wire cutters, different variants of trench periscopes, um, even cigarettes. What type of cigarettes to look for when you're looking for things like that, or when you're talking about doing collecting. Northern Ireland peacekeepers in February could not do much. Colonel who received the gift lamp from the Dutch army. Yeah, so yeah, like, do you like historical books? I do like historical books. Probably historical books are the main ones that I read. I don't like reading fiction. I don't like reading anything like that. So, just getting back to the United Nations stuff, I work, lads, or I have served overseas with the United Nations. And when you're in United Nations soldier, or when you're operating under the United Nations remit, it is extremely, extremely difficult. Um, we weren't allowed return fire unless we were ordered by somebody else who was 12 miles behind us and didn't know what the hell was going on. But it's extremely hard. And then there was a famous thing that we had, this thing called the Ground 90. And if we wanted to fire that, which was used for taking out tanks, but if we wanted to fire that, we had to get permission off of UNHQ in New York before we were allowed to shoot it. Yeah, so it's very, very difficult. How can you tell a 1970s, 1980s Barrett from a modern one? I've always hesitated to buy as many as I have blue material on the inside are the same as the black. Not necessarily. The blue material on the inside is silk, right? Have I an old Barrett here that I can show you? Right. So, inside the old Barretts, you will see one of these. And it is the NATO stamp, or the NATO number. You can look up NATO stock numbers on the internet, and it will tell you the year of date or the year of manufacture. There's another different variant. So not necessarily whether it's blue or black, right? The blue one, this one you're talking about, are private purchase. Now this one has been used by a soldier, as you can tell, right? Because it's shaped. So that's another good way you can tell if the beret has been used or not. Uh, the blue soldiers will buy stuff private purchase as well, because they will keep their issued ones, excuse me, for good wear and things like that. Um, so yeah, so they're normally dated on the inside if they still have the lining. If they don't have the lining, it's a bit harder to tell. Normally, by the shape, you can tell. And the wear, 50s, 60s, and 70s, they literally looked like big frisbees. They weren't shaped that much. And then towards the 80s, they were. Then you have what's called a big crown and a small crown, and that necessarily means is the size of it. A smaller crown is literally more shaped than a bigger crown. So I hope that answers your question. It is very, very tricky, but the NATO stock number is the best way to try and tell. Um, where have I gone? Have you got one of the Northern Ireland Operational Aid memoirs, the green plastic covered book? I do. There you go. I actually have a video of this up on my channel, so go check it out if you want to know what it is. Yeah, so I do actually have an operations aid manual. This is it's the one I have. Plastic covered book with the inserts. Yeah, I do have it. Yes, it's odd that you can get an M79 Yoko helmet from various supply outlets, and they are $20 or thereabouts, and helmets could have been involved in the most recent civil war in Europe. Yeah, it is. It's strange like that. I mean, surplus like there's some things like you're going, how the hell are the price of them that cheap? And then there's other things then you're going, how the hell are they that expensive? Those helmets, this one here behind me, the Mark IV Public Order Right helmets, you could pick them up at one point in time for 10, 20, 30 euros, pounds even. Um, the last few of them I've seen sold on eBay have gone for over 200 and 300 euros. So yeah, so you'd wonder how prices of things go up through the roof. I remember the old OXO tins. My grandfather had one. Do you mind me asking where was the most dangerous place that I have served? I understand if I'd rather not say. They were all dangerous. They were all dangerous one way or another. We weren't sent there because they were a holiday camp. We were sent there because bad people were doing bad things to bad people, or sorry, bad people were doing things to other people. Was normally why we were sent there. So they were all dangerous at one point, one way or another. Um, and then when you started getting lax, or you started getting um, repetitive, that's when things happen. That's when guys got hurt. So yeah, you had to be, even if it was quite a nice, quiet, handy trip, you always had to be quiet. You always had to be on your game because something could always kick off. If I make one video documentary about this, can you give me some useful information? If I make one video documentary about this, can you give me some useful information? Yeah, what information would you like to know? I can try my best. Goodlands tube. Um, I'll have to watch. I have a book. I'll have to watch. I have a book, but not sure what's missing from it. Oh, you're talking about the memoir. Yeah, there's different variants. This is the 1973 version. Let's see the date there. There are different versions of it, but yeah, have a look at it and see what you think. May not be military, but does anyone else find the reeling in the ears such a great crack? Yeah, it is. I don't know if the lads now in England and stuff might not know what reeling in the ears is, but the Irish lads will know what reeling in the ears is. What's your favorite World War II tank or Panzer vehicle? Oh, the German stuff was probably the best engineered, but not very friendly for to work on. But definitely they were the, they were probably the above their before their time, but they weren't very mechanic orientated, if you get me, for damages and stuff like that. Whereas when the Shermans were just mass produced and literally defeated by numbers. Um, so yeah, so the German stuff I would say was probably the better engineered of the two. Just got a Mark Five. Oh, Stan. Shell is dated 1953. Now, Stan, little bit of information for you. Liner M50, Liner 1986 was also the last cost. Let me pleased with that. There, Mark 5. Are you talking about the Mark 4 shell with the sock, what's known as the sock liner? Because if you are, they were never actually officially given the designation Mark 5s. The liner was just upgraded from the British one, or the World War II one, nearly much. But they were never actually officially given the Mark 5s. They are known as Mark 5s, and people do call them Mark 5s, but they were never actually officially given the designation Mark 5s. I have those Ulster books. There's 4 volumes in it. Yeah, so there's 4 volumes, so I'm missing 2 volumes. So yeah, they're very good books. I must look out for the other 2 volumes. Um, I'm trying to think. Is there any other good books that I could recommend to people? You don't necessarily have to have books, lads. YouTube is fantastic for getting information. Um, Steel Helmet Stan, Military Collectibles, Rifleman Moore if he's around the place. Who else is around there? Military Guy, Panzer Soldat 01. Um, all very, very good guys to get information off. All very interesting guys to get information off. Military Collectibles, there's doing YouTube for, I'm not going to give away his age, or like, he's doing it for a lot longer than I am. He's got fantastic content. Steel Helmet Stan has very good content. Rifleman Moore has very good content. So there's other guys out there that have massive content as well. Uh, World War Bricks. Hello from a fellow Irish lad. Welcome. There's 2 other Irish lads I think in here as well. Podrick might be around the place, and there's another one as well there somewhere. Uh, okay, good info, John. Yeah, so there's a little one for you about the Mark 5s. Um, have you heard of the Red Baron? He used to live near us here in Poland. I made a video and it scored no views. Thought he was World War One's highest fighter. It could be my rubbish video though. I know who the Red Baron is. It depends how you word it. It depends how you word the title. Um, One thing I've noticed making videos from low content, high content, more views, lower views. Views don't bother me. Content don't bother me. Well, content does bother me, but I'm trying to make everything that I put out good. That question there, goodness tube. I'm not answering that. Um, do I make content? It's trial and error. Um, what you do, the video quality and sound, though, I must say, are very important. If there's something bad about the video, if the picture isn't right, people will get quick click off it straight away. If the sound isn't right, same thing, people will click off it away. So they're probably the most 2 important things: is the sound and the picture quality. Do you think the band? What do I think of Bender books? Bender books? Don't know. I've never heard of them actually. Can't. I might have to change. Osprey books are another very good point of reference. Osprey books, no matter what you're looking up. What county art you from? What county am I from? I am from County Clare, west of Ireland. It's interesting to get YouTube reviews on the same items in your collection. The military collecting side of YouTube has gone greatly since I first started in 2008. Um, yeah, uh, there's some very very good guys doing content, and you will always pick, like, the day you're not learning, or the day you don't pick up something, or the day you don't pick up information, you're always learning. Like, as I said, Military Collectibles has taught me a thing or two. Stan has taught me a thing or two. Uh, yeah, so they're very good. You do pick up information off other people. Uh, Bender books are books on the German military. I don't actually have any German books on military. I need to get some. but I don't actually have any books on German militaria because I do not per se collect German militaria, but I do have one or two items of German militaria reproductions. But I do need to get some books on them. Um, there is another. I've only seen them. I don't have them. There's a guy on YouTube, Regimentals. He actually sells stuff. He has a regiment military shop. His father had the shop before him. Military collectors will be able to tell you a bit more because I think he deals with him or he's dealt with him. He has books. He does books and dedicated to collectors and stuff like that. And I believe they're good. I haven't got any of them, but I have seen them. Do I collect World War One items? Yes, I do collect World War One items. I have to ask, do you like Guinness? My favorite tipple when I get yes, Guinness is nice. Too many of them though, and you'll know about it the next morning. Are you Mr. Campbell from the Great YouTube channel? Is he Mr. Well, he can answer that one. I'm not going to answer that. Anybody want a sweet? No? Happy? Okay. We've actually gone over the hour, guys, so we'll keep going till past. And we'll see how we get on. Great choice of pedal to the metal for your channel's music also. Also thoughts on Thetford Northern Ireland combat helmets. I don't know how do you mean what thought just what thoughts as in what information do I know about them or something. I'm not sure how you mean with what thoughts on them. I think that you develop your own style of videos on YouTube. I just can't get my head around the editing side of it. I don't mind doing it, but hey, that's life. The editing software I use is a free one called Snapshot, and that works fine for me. Screenshot, Snapshot. 1 second, I'll have to. Oh, I don't want to get this down, so I don't know if I can get it back. Shotcut, it's called. That's the editing one I use, and I find it very, very easy to use it. So give that one a look and see if you can edit it. But you do all your stuff on your phone, if I remember. You don't actually use a handheld camera, and put it onto a computer and edit it. But YouTube has ways of editing as well, but I've never used the YouTube one. George just purchased a very large World War One, World War Two family group. It includes my father's 1914 star group and his son's Africa, and that's cool. That's very good, and the fact that you know the history of it's very, very good. I do take a pork scratchings. Nothing like that in Poland. You don't have what was the thing we had in Poland that we fell in love with? Progi. We couldn't read the menus. So the only I couldn't read the menus. So the only thing that the Polish lads told me to eat was pierogi or gołąbki were the only two things that I. Yeah, you working on the phone. Look, I mean, your videos are fine. Like I enjoy your videos. So I mean, maybe you don't need to edit them. So yeah, that's good. It's your style is good. I have my style. He has his style. Simon over in Rifleman Moore has his style. Military Collectibles has his style. Everyone has their own style. Pierogi, yeah, pierogi is good. Any info and your search for them. Last I saw went 500 quid. Any info and search for them. That's the helmet you're on about, isn't it? Yeah. eBay. There is a website that I can remember that I can't think of it. It's a search engine and it basically searches all the eBays. So you type in whatever Mark IV helmet into this and it checks all the eBays and it'll find them and then you can scroll through that. Auctions is another one. Antique shops. Most of those now because of COVID have online auctions, so you can just Google auctions, military auctions coming up and go through their lot list and see what you can find. There'd be the main ways to do it. I haven't pushed so much. I haven't purchased so much in the last year. Sorry, yeah, but just nothing been happening. Pretty much just working. Hopefully, for the rest of the year, will be difficult. I got a few things in mind that to post. Need to post it on here. Yeah, Andrew. Yeah, so there's the last year and a half has been ridiculously hard for people. Um, so I mean, my stuff like I've literally been buying and buying and buying because of the free time that I had. I've literally just been clicking through eBay. So I've gotten a lot of stuff over the last year as well. Uh, Pierogi, yeah, I've got a Polish mate at work, and he pointed me in that direction. Pierogi and Polish beer. That's nice. Yeah, Polish beer is nice. What was the beer we were drinking over there? I'll probably get done now for advertising. Tulski or Tulska. Nice beer actually. In your opinion, what is the best film about the battle in Vietnam? Um, Battle in Vietnam. I presume you're talking about in general Vietnam films. Danger Close is probably the only war film. No, sorry, I take that back. Another one Stan recommended, The Odd Angry Shot. That's about the Australians in Vietnam. Danger Close is another good one about the Australians in Vietnam. Then you have Platoon, Full Metal Jacket, um, Bat 21. It's another good one, actually, which is based on a true story. Um, they'd be good Vietnam films, yeah. Platoon, yeah, there you go. Platoon is a good one. That way of searching eBay is dead handy. Um, it shall remain a secret. It's way easier to find rare stuff on it. Podrick, email me the video, or the email is always on top of the video descriptions. Email me that search engine because I got my computer upgraded, or the way to do it. I got my computer upgraded, and I can't find it. I can't do it now. I don't know what's the story with it. So just email me and let me know how to do it again. Another classic is The Hill. Yeah, The Hill is good. That's the one with James Bond, Sean Connery. Um, that's a good one. Oh, when you're talking about classic war films, Ice Cold and Alex, Big Red One, um, To Hell and Back, Battleground, I think it was called. Um, and then I used to love the Navy ones like the Battle of River Plate, The Sea Shall Not Have Them. There was some massive, great war films, classic war films. Bridge Too Far. How could I forget Bridge Too Far? The Battle of Britain. The Heroes of Telemark. Um, what was the one where the German paratroopers went as Polish paratroopers? The Eagle has landed. The Eagle has landed. That's it. That was another good classic war film. Oh, geez, you're bringing back memories. I actually sat down the other day. I had a day off, and I sat down and had the house to myself. And I went rummaging on YouTube, and I found a full playlist for Dad's Army. And I sat there with a cup of tea, and I watched Dad's Armies. I had a Dad's Army Bonanza, and it was brilliant. So that's another recommended thing for you to do, guys. Vietnam War movies, Tree Tops, the Green Berets, or with John Wayne. Yeah, never thought of that. Although it is a bit fictional, a bit fantasized in relation to Green Beret stuff, but it is a good film. Yeah, Hamburger, Casualties of War. Yeah, another good one. Michael Caine as the German officer. Not a lot of people remember that. Yeah, it's a good one actually. Um, my dad was an extra in the Coral Sea. That's another good film. Ice Cold and Alex, Sunday afternoon with a beer. Yeah, nice. I'm going for a bit of view on Heroes of Telemark. I'm going to do Heroes of Telemark, and that's actually based on a true story as well. The Heroes of Telemark. Jesus, military collectibles. Jump in on this now because you might remember some of them. Not saying that you're old or anything, but I'm just saying that you might remember some of the old classic war movies. Stan is older than you anyway, so I mean, it's fine. Um, Oh, Big Red One. I mentioned the Big Red One. Sink to Bismarck. 633 Squadron. Tour of Duty, the TV series. Yeah. MASH was another good one. Comedy type thing, but it was good. Um, do any of you remember China Beach? Was the MASH version of Vietnam. China Beach. Yeah, that's right. He was a IRS spy in The Eagle Has Landed. China Beach. Look up that, lads. China Beach. There's another great one. Roger Moore and Escape. The Great Escape. Great Escape. That was another one. Cross of Iron. Yeah. Oh yeah, there was some great ones. Then you had some modern ones. Then like Fury. Fury, I thought was fantastic. Really got down nitty gritty. Um, the Nine Company from Afghanistan. The Russians. Uh, what else have you? Oh, I can't remember them now. Well, he remembers China Beach. China Beach was good. Excuse me, I'm young. Sorry, Sten. I apologise. Where Eagles Dare, yeah, that was a good film. It's weird then as well, like because you had like massive. The only World War One films, All Quiet in the Western War, All Quiet in the Western Front, and The Trench with Danny Dyer and James Bond, the new James Bond. What's his name? Craig. Simon Craig. They're the only two that I could remember off the top of my head of World War One movies until 1917, and until a few more were mentioned. Where are we? Stalingrad, best World War Two movie. Stalingrad, yeah, it's very good. Thomas who plays a good German officer, yeah. Stalingrad, 1993 in German. Um, Enemy at the Gates, yeah, that's a good one. Great visual movie, all filmed in abandoned Soviet base, even if everyone died of a headshot. Yeah, yeah. Hertz War. God, yeah. I don't remember Hertz War. I remember Hertz War now. It was a modern Great Escape. Yeah, yeah. It was a coloured guy. There was a coloured guy in that, wasn't it? Great Tank Commander. Never heard of that one. Great Tank Commander. It's amazing how we were all brought up on the same movies. YouTube show some of the great classics in full, and and some which have never been on TV. They are that bad. Yeah, there's some of them down there. Tarawa, Tarawa, Tarawa. It's another great one. There's some war films too. So and you're looking at it going, oh my god. A lot of the old. There's some really horrible Vietnam YouTube ones are going around. Absolute dire muck. Um, Tarawa, Tarawa, Tara. That brought up another one now that I'm trying to remember. Um, Battle of Midway. That was another one. Another good film. Um, yeah, there's some classic ones there. Classic is the Wooden Horse. The Wooden Horse in the 1950s. Yeah. Um, oh, what was the one with Pele in it and Steven Seagal? They played a football match against the. Was it Escape to Victory? They played a football match against the Germans. I think it was Escape to Victory. It was called. Pele was in it. Uh, not Sean Connery. Your man from the Italian Job. Oh, we mentioned him there a while ago. He was in it. Um, they had a load of actually 70s, 60s, and 70s international football players in the movie. Stallone, yeah, Stallone was in it. Kelly's Heroes, another classic. Um, it's basically a spaghetti western. It is basically Escape to Victory. That was it, yeah. Stallone was in. Stallone was in Escape to Victory. Yeah, I think he was, wasn't he? I think he was. Great Tank Commander is a Scottish comedy series from a few years ago. I've never seen it. I must look that one up. Mel Gibson, Gallipoli. Yeah, Jesus. Um, Fantastic film. The Light Horseman was another good one. I don't know if many people have seen that. Bridge to Ferry, yeah, we mentioned that one. Connery's in a Bridge to Ferry, yeah. Um, yeah, he was the goalkeeper. He was so bad that they weren't going to play him, but he had an escape plan worked out. So they actually broke the proper goalie volunteered to get his arm broke so Stallone could go in goals. I'm not going to go into probably ruined the main part of it there now. But yeah, that was a good movie. Escape to Victory. Yeah. Um, I'm trying to think what other good ones. Light Horseman, I said, Gallipoli. They did do another modern series on the Gallipoli one, but I've only seen snippets of it. I haven't found somewhere. Oh, there was another series. Was it called Anzac? It's actually on YouTube. Your man Crocodile Dundee is in it. Um, it's about the Australians in the First World War. That's a good series as well. That's actually a TV series. Here's a classic from 1962. Password is Courage. Yes. There was another good one as well. Audie Murphy was actually in it. It was a Western, well, American Civil War, called A Badge of Courage. A Red Badge of Courage. Was it? Yeah, and that was in it. And it was ironic that they had Audie Murphy in it, a man who won the Victoria Cross. Um, Not strictly a war film, but The League of Gentlemen from 1916. Yes, League of Gentlemen. It's a good film as well, yeah. Red Dawn, 1985. Yeah, the modern one was muck, but the old one was good. Uh, Along with the Rambos and Commando. Oh, Commando, I'll just wear a battle vest. And I don't know why he needed a battle vest because he never changed magazines anyway. Or Guns of Navarone. How could we forget the Guns of Navarone? Cold Hits, 1985, or sorry, 2005 was a good too. Yeah, Cold Hits was good. There was another TV series called POW or something, and it was about guys in prisoner war camps. Square Peg is a good one too. Norman Wisdom movie. Square Peg. Oh yeah, is that the one where he's the road? There's a comedy. The Carry Ons as well. The carry when you're talking about Carry Ons, you had Carry On England, Carry On Up the Khyber. Um, Jesus, there was some great ones in that too. Um, I think it was a Carry On England where you had the dual sex men and women anti aircraft battery and they were up to every type of mischief known to mankind. Um, Death Race, 1973, was bad, so bad it's good. It's about the Africa Corps chasing a P-40 aircraft being driven across the desert. Oh, I haven't seen that one. I must look that one up. That sounds funny and good at the same time, as it can fly. Ice Cold and Alex. We mentioned Ice Cold and Alex. Cold It's. Yeah, Cold It's is good. The Secret Army. I don't remember Secret Army. Original 1970s Cold It's series was brilliant. Full series are on YouTube. Yes, that's good actually. About Us, The Waves, John Mills. Above Us, The Waves, John Mills. Yeah, there's some good Navy ones as well. World War Two ones. Play Dirty. 1960. Oh, sure, you had the Dirty Dozen. We forgot the Dirty Dozen, lads. That was a good one. About World War Two action movie. The guy actually in the major in the original Dirty Dozen. He was actually a Marine in the Pacific. What was his name? Can't think of his name. Um, Play Dirty 1976 World War Two action movie with Michael Caine and Harry Andrews. 1313? Experimental Battery. That was it. Carry On England. Yeah, that was a very good film. They were up to every type of mischief known to mankind. The Dam Busters. Great film. Great film. TV series filmed in Belgium. Oh, sorry, you're talking about the Secret Army. Yeah, I haven't seen that. I must look up that one as well. Memphis Belle. Memphis Belle. Actually, I did do a bit of research, and they are making it. They're Spielberg and Tom Hanks, are making a remake. Well, not a remake, a third series. They did Band of Brothers, they did the Pacific, but they're actually doing one now on the Air Force in Europe, on the Flying Fortresses, the B-17. So look forward to that when it comes out. Spearhead, 1978 TV series about Brits in Northern Ireland. Oh, is that on YouTube? Spearhead. I must look up that one. There was another comedy as well about the troubles in Northern Ireland. Oh, your man was. There was two families had married. One was Catholic, one was Protestant. The son, who was in the RUC, had married a Catholic. The uncle was in the IRA. Oh, it was a comedy. It was very, very good. I can't think of the name of it now as well, but it was good. Spearhead. I must look up that one now. Spearhead. Telly Savaria. was a medic in World War II. Lee Marvin was in the Marines in Saipan. Dirty Dozen actors. Yeah, there was a few of those actually. Anthropod or Anthropede, and yeah, that's about the SS fella in. There was two of those actually. There was one made from his side, and there was one made from the two guys that went over to kill him. Um, Czech Republic, Prague. Um, is the story of Heydrich Alfred. No, what the hell was his name? I know who you're on about. Spell that after 3 beers. Yeah, I know. Um, I'm my original taste thing is quite good actually. So we're getting there. Holy crap, lads! We're on for an hour and a half. Will we make it 2 hours and we'll see how we get on? Reinhard Heinrich, that was his name. Operational Daybreak is earlier version from the 1970s. No, I know that one you're on about. There was a man, there was Anthropod or Anthropede, and then there was another one that came out. They came out nearly the same time as each other. And one was from the two boys that went over to kill him, and then the other one was from his side. There was a show about 20 years ago set in Bosnia, Warriors. I think it was called Really Good. Yeah, I remember that one. There was another famous one, or another good one during the 80s and 90s called Soldier Soldier. Stan and Military Collectibles will probably remember that one. Soldier Soldier. That was a bit of a Coronation Street type thing, but it was good as well, yeah. Actor Henry Kelleher from A Bridge Too Far, 1977, was in the Waffen SS. Was he? Which one am I thinking of? Was he? Is he the guy that had the scar on his face? I'm trying to think. I must look him up. Desert Commandos, 1967. Made him filmed in Morocco about the German commandos assassinating Churchill. Oh, there's some good films there that I haven't. Triple H, that was it. Or Four H's. Heydrich movie from 1977. Yeah, that was it. That was it. The Black Book, another film I've never heard of. Couldn't find it on YT, but it was on Forces TV. Reckless, like Skinner's Crawlers. Very, very like Soldier Soldier. Oh, okay. Must look up that one. There was another one, and it used to be on Forces TV. It was about guys getting conscripted into the Air Force, and it was a bit of a comedy as well. I can't think of the name of that one, but yeah, that was another. Some of the lads might remember that. What was it called? Mothers, something about mother. I can't remember. One of the one that got away was a good movie. Oh yes, that was good. That was actually a true story as well. But he was the only German guy to escape in Canada. Yeah, dealt dealt with dealt with. Okay. I remember Soldier Soldier. I was in Germany when they were filming it there. Yeah, that was a good film or a good TV series actually. Soldier Soldier. Uh, Get Some In. That was it. That was about the guys in that got conscripted into the RAF. Crap. I worked for a few in the early 90s in Australia who had their own businesses, and he claimed he was related to Heydrich. Made you look like him. Mind you, he looked like him. Who knows? Yeah. A lot of those guys literally get some in, yeah. A lot of those guys literally scattered to the four corners of the wind, and who knows where they went. Went the day well. Oh my god, another great one. Original was Eagle. Was the original from the Eagle Has Landed. Yeah, the day went well. That was great, actually. You can actually see that some of the scenery and stuff was literally just timber put down. But yeah, that was a great one. It was ripped off from that. Went a day well. That's actually on YouTube, I think. I've seen that on YouTube. A day went well, or went a day well. Can you say hello to Chris Peacock? Hello, Chris Peacock. Gary Sinclair. Strange request, but hello. Chris, how are you? Um, oh, what other good films had we? Geez, I think we've named them all. We've pretty much went through the entire archive. Uh, in the bridge too far. Oh, that's who it was. Okay, I'm gonna. There's a load of these films now. The next day, I have. I'm gonna end up sitting and watching them. Eachman is a good film I watched yesterday. It was the brilliant German actor Thomas. Yeah. Trying to think of foreign movies. You have all the American Patriot, hoorah stuff. Das Boot. Oh yeah, they made a series actually about Das Boot there not so long ago. The Generals. Yeah, that was a good one. Das Boot. Where Eagles there. Yeah. Broadsword to Danny Boy. Yeah. um. Oh God, there was some great like the what other good ones was there? I don't know if I can think of off the top of my head. Oh, it's so hard to think. Like we've mentioned pretty much most of them there. Longest Day, yeah, we've talked about that one. Richard Branson, The Longest Day. Um, should any of the modern ones then, like Mike Fury? We mentioned Fury. 1917. Danger Close. Saving Private Ryan. Pacific, Band of Brothers. They were good. Call of Duty. Call of Duty actually is Call of Duty and China Beach are the only two series I remember about the Vietnam War. When you compare that to like World War Two, where you had POW, that was a series. Cold Hits was a series. Um, there was another really bad American one called Combat. That was a series about World War Two. Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy, classic war movie. Yeah, and the Atomic Blonde. Never, I don't remember watching the Atomic Blonde anyway. Inglorious Bastards. Yeah, there's two actually. There's two versions of that. There's the original and the here's the telemark. Remember we said that one. There was two. There was two Inglorious Bastards. Um, there was the one made by your man from Pulp Fiction, and there was one before that as well. Um, there's one I remember watching. It's black and white. Is it called Gung Ho? It's about the Japanese guys that joined the American army during the Second World War. Wind Talkers. Yeah, Wind Talkers was good, although I don't like you know who in that. I'm not going to mention his name, but everyone else did a good job, but he just bugs me. I don't like his acting. It really bugged me even when he was in Con Air. But that narrows it down. You sort of know who I'm talking about there. Wind, there was certain parts that would like I like the idea of Wind Talkers in the fact that it was trying to tell the story of guys that weren't recognized pretty much up until that stage. The Navajo Wind Talkers or the Navajo Code Talkers, I should say. Sorry, but yeah, I mean, the guy that directed it was he Japanese or Chinese or something? But he was. They should have. I I don't think it was done as well as it could have been done, but it was for what it is. Okay. It's take my brain out and watch a war movie type of film. Irish films, if any of you're interested in Irish movies, um, Window Checks the Barley, Michael Collins, The Siege at Jevaville. It's on Netflix. 603 Squadron. I live in Poland. I live in uh, yeah, they were good films. Um, what other Irish films is there? See, this the thing is, there's not really much Irish stuff about the troubles or about Northern Ireland. There was a joint one made, not really military war movie, but it was called Bloody Sunday. Go away, fly. Um, that was a good one. Black 47. Yes, another good film. Irish film about the famine in Ireland. Your man was a Connacht Ranger, I believe he was. He was a British Army soldier. Um, got in a bit of trouble where he was stationed, came home, found out there was more trouble, and didn't really like the trouble that was going on here. So it caused some trouble for the establishment. Without going into much detail, but there you go. Um, I'm gonna have another sweet because I just seen the packet there sitting on the bench. 40 Dead Men Walking. I remember. Yes, that's another good one. Um, there is another good one as well. Um, oh, I can't think of the name of it. It's black and white. I'll have to think. The Fields. No, the Field. Richard Harris. No, that was well. It was a classic film, but it wasn't anything to do with what we're talking about. 40 Dead Men. Yeah. Was that other film called The Informer or something? It was another film about the IRA in set American type one that was done about the War of Independence, shall we say? Tumbledown. Tumbledown is the one about Lawrence. Lawrence, what was his second name? He was a Scots Guard officer, got shot in the head, and lost a lot of his brain. Um, um, I think that's the name of that film, Tumbledown. Falklands films, actually, lads. Guys, movies on the Falklands. Do any of you know any good ones? Miami Show Band, yeah, Massacre. That's a good documentary. Yes, it is. It's on Netflix. It's a good one. You're the Bull McCabe. No, I'm not the Bull McCabe, Podrick. Who Will Dance with the Tinker's Daughter? Another famous line from that film. Mel Brooks, comedian, and have also fought. Oh, two more guys that I didn't know were in World War Two. Odd Man Out. Odd Man Out. Odd Man Out. Is that the one I'm thinking of? The old IRA one? Could be. In the Name of the Father. In the Name of the Father. How did we forget that one? That's a good film. About the Guildford Four. Um, yeah. In the Name of the Father. That's a good one as well. Ugh. Oh, that one was bitter. Sorry. Excuse me. Um, there was another one. The Crying Game. Weird one. Weird film about the Troubles. But yeah, that's another one about the Troubles. If any. So, there we go. I just mentioned it. Ireland is also featured in The Crying Game, or not. We don't want to mention that film because it's so freaking strange film. Cole, Callie, Kyle. I don't know. Um, yeah, The Crying Game, strange film. Those of you that have seen it, you'll know what I'm talking about. I need to get a haircut. I'm starting to get a bit like Bob Marley. Oh, yeah, Podrick. The Crying Game. Oh my God, what a strange. Hmm. Yeah, look up The Crying Game, guys. And watch it. You'll understand what we're talking about, and you'll probably be scared like us for the rest of your life. But what have we know? 148. We're going to give it 10 more minutes, guys, and that's it. We're going then for the night. Not as much of a film, but a study. We will remember that. Yes, we will remember them. That's good. Cal, Cal is a drama filmed and directed by Peter Cohen, starring John Lynch. Oh, I can't remember that now. In 1984, I was a wee baby. Longdon, Tumbledown, Blessed by Fire, an Argentinian film about two conscripts sent to fight. Must look up them. The only Falklands movie that I can remember is Tumbledown, I think, which is the one about Lawrence, what's his name, after being shot in the head, and then An Ungentlemanly Act, um, which is another good film that I remember. Seen a film called 71 about the Troubles. Yeah, we mentioned that earlier on. That is about the Troubles ish. Robert Lawrence was a Guards officer. Was he Scots Guards or Grenadier Guards? That's the film. That's the guy anyway that I'm thinking about. He actually did an interview on a TV show called The Late Late Show, the Irish version of The Late Late Show, with some other son. Another good one actually. Robert Lawrence. Yeah, that's him. Some other son. That's another good film. Um, that's about the Troubles as well, guys. If any of you want to watch that one, Scots Guards. Yeah, Robert Lawrence. He sorry, back squirrel moment. He did an interview on The Late Late Show with a guy called Gay Byrne, famous Irish journalist. Um, Not long after the Falklands War. There is actually the interview is actually on YouTube. If you look it up, the Robert Lawrence interview on the Late Late Show, um, very very good. He lost like 30% of his brain or something, and still managed to get on and live a normal life. But yeah, it's good one. Would it be a good idea for Hollywood to make a movie about Paddy Meehan? But there is actually a film being made. There is a film being made, and the guy that was in 71 is actually Paddy Mayne. There is actually a film being made about it. I seen it there. It's been filmed at the moment in England. The main guy that was the main character in 71 is Paddy Mayne in that series. Hunger is another good one. If any of you, thanks, Patrick. If any of you want to look up, um, the Hunger Strikers, Bobby Sands, things like that. Bobby Sands is the main character in the Hunger Games, or sorry, in Hunger, not in the Hunger Games. Um, we Were Soldiers, Vietnam, Mel Gibson. Yeah, very good one. Seeing that interview, that's the one about Robert Lawrence. That's a good one. Who Dares Wins, Lewis Collins. Oh, another good one. Military collectibles that slipped through the net. There's a series being made about Paddy Mayne. Yeah, there is a series being made about Paddy Mayne. Queen and Country is a good movie based around the Falklands aftermath. I do vaguely remember watching a film years ago about a guy who had come back from the Falklands and he had gotten blown. Well, he got knocked out in some battle or whatever, Goose Green or one of these battles anyway, and he got knocked out early in the battle and didn't come to until after the battle. And it was when he came back, then the lads pretty much ostracized him because they believed he was faking the injury, and he was a coward. I can't remember the name of that film, but yeah, that was roughly around it. Denzel Washington as a para. That would be interesting. Denzel Washington as a para. Yeah. No, I can't see. I can't see that being very, very good. No, or I can't see that being made. Sorry, my phone's just been vibrating there for the last few minutes. I'm just checking to see what it is. That's nothing. Sorry. Um, what was the name of that? What I can't remember the name of that movie. But yeah, some good documentaries then as well. About more that people should watch. There's a very very good one on. We were talking about it earlier on. It's on Netflix as well about Auschwitz Birkenau with that, and it's sort of half played. He played a para in Queen and Country. Oh, did he? Must look up that one. No, Queen and Country. It's a movie based on even had a Cockney accent. How could okay, never mind. How could Denzel Washington have a Cockney accent? Surprisingly good. Okay, I must have a look at that one. But oh sorry, fucking squirrel moment. Yes, um, Auschwitz. We were talking about it earlier on. There is a very very good movie or documentary on Netflix about it, and they sort of it's one of these documentaries where it's half acted, half documentary. If you get me, so it's good. I like those type of documentaries. Going further back in time, what more war movies? But Glory is one of the favorites. Glory, yes, about the you're talking about Glory now about the black regiments in the American Civil War. Hell's Boat, oh, Hell's Boats, yeah. The Frogman as well as another good one about Malta. Um, Michael Fishburne must fight Jennifer Lawrence in a fight to the death in John Shannon's epic Hunger Games, coming to theaters near you. That would somebody write the script for that quick, please. We need the script. Podrick, get on it. Start writing the script. Jennifer Lawrence in a fight to the death in Shannon's epic Hunger Games. Oh God. Um, is it the BBC? Oh, yes, it is. It is. I think it is done by the BBC. I'm almost positive it's done by the BBC. And one of the veterans in it that actually talked in the documentary, I believe, I did watch something after that. He was tried for war crimes. My favorite war film is The American Sniper. If you're talking about modern ones, I would have to go with Lone Survivor. I think Lone Survivor is better than American Sniper, and that's my opinion. But yeah, in that documentary, one of the there's a few documentaries actually about the Holocaust. There's another one called The Beast Next Door, which was about a there's a group that still try and track down war crimes or war criminals, and they tracked down this guy in America, and they believed he was Ukrainian, but he was a guard at some concentration camp. So they basically showed what evidence they had and how they came up with it. It was this guy, and he was tried and stuff for war crimes. I think he was found guilty actually. And then there was, but in that documentary that I'm talking about, the Auschwitz, um, uh, that documentary about Auschwitz, there was a guy in it, and he was basically he was an office worker, shall we say. He was in the SS, but he was in the office, and he prior to the war he worked in a bank, and he used to collect the currencies and bring it to Berlin every once a month or something like that. But he was the guy I think that they tried for war crimes after the war. Did Irish paratroopers also fight in 1944 and at a bridge of Arnhem? They may have. There was a regiment. Well, they were part of a regiment. They were the Second Battalion Royal Ulster Rifles. They were the parachute or glider. I think they were glider-borne infantry. Um, they may have. I know they fought in D-Day. I'm not sure if they were involved in Arnhem, but I'm definitely sure that there was Irish lads thrown in the mix there somewhere, either guys from the south or guys from the Republic. I would nearly put €100 on it, which is that it was Irish. If you went through the casualty list or you went through the list of guys that were in Arnhem, I'm nearly positive that you would come across a born Irishman there somewhere. Talking of who dares wins, the modern 6 days, yes, also on Netflix. 6 days is about the siege at the Iranian embassy in 1982, if I believe. Stan and Military Collectibles, you're of the same vintage as me, you probably will know. Was it 1982? I think it was 1982. And Margaret Thatcher basically went, yeah, we don't talk to terrorists, and basically went, let's go. Went to the Imperial War Museum years ago to see the VC exhibition, but didn't see the Holocaust exhibit because it had kids to me. I had kids. Oh, you had kids with you. Oh, right. Sorry. Yes. Go away. I'm not going to answer that question. There's one thing you don't ask a veteran, and that's one of the questions you don't ask a veteran. 5th of May 1980. Oh, I thought it was 1982. Thanks, Jim. I didn't know there was a Holocaust exhibit in the Imperial War Museum. It's been years since I was there. I think it was 15 or 16 when I went to see the Imperial War Museum. Hopefully, now that COVID has buggered off, I might get back over there for a few days this year, sometime or other. The last time I was there, I was in a school tour. We did the Imperial War Museum, the HMS Belfast, the Tower of London. Was it the Cabinet War Rooms, I think they were called? Yeah, they were also part of the Imperial Worms, I remember. There is also one, I believe, on Netflix called Stan. I don't know how to pronounce that, but yes, I believe you. Unsure of the spelling, and follow was called Mr. Going again spelling, and he was called the Accountant of Auschwitz. That could be the same guy. That must be the one I'm thinking of. The Beast 1980. Yes, about a Russian T-55 in the Afghan War. Very good film as well. Yeah, very good film. Yep, no knocking on 55 this year. I'm officially an old fart. You're not old. You're mature, like a fine wine. I wouldn't say old. 14 years is the limit to the entry into the. Well, I can understand why, but I didn't know there was a. First of all, I didn't know there was a Holocaust exhibition there or exhibit there. Um, I do remember though, I was fascinated by it. I don't know if it's still there. I hope it is still there because it was phenomenal. Was the First World War exhibition or exhibit, whereas you could actually go into a trench and you could walk along the trench and had a guy on the parapet. They had other guys about to go over the top. There was a guy in a dugout having first aid. There was another guy in another dugout cooking something for himself, and the smell and the sound and everything in it was just fantastic. I hope it's still there because that was a really, really good exhibit. Jim Rusty Fleming was a YouTube channel he posted recently. What? Has a YouTube channel he posted recently. I must look up that. I'm not sure what you mean by that, Andrew. Military collectibles. I outrank you, sir. I am 56 this year. Another fellow who's just mature. Well, CJ, I'm 3 years younger than you. Lads, you're all just kids. Stop giving out about each other's age. You're just mature, like fine wines. Um, Andrew, thanks for the info. Which info is that now you're on about, lads? Yes. No, I'll be done now in a few minutes. Yeah, I'm getting orders, so we'll have to close up this now soon enough. Rip. Um, right, guys. So that's it. We've done 2 hours of a live stream tonight. I hope you enjoyed it. Um, as I said, this will be hopefully in the morning. Will be buffered on September 20th, 1920. The Dutch government honoured the last surviving Irish Arnhem veterans, all paratroopers with the first para. There you go. Nice bit of history I never knew about it. The Imperial War Museum has changed a lot. I hope they still have that exhibit. That exhibit was fantastic. The trench that you walked along down when the missus called. It's not actually long story. we'll get to it. But yeah, guys. So have a good one. Enjoy the rest of the weekend. I will be putting up some videos at the weekend. But so enjoy your weekend. 2 hours of a live stream. Very good. Thanks for calling. You may make a runner. So yeah, I may make a runner. Um, but yeah, thanks for calling. This will be up tomorrow, hopefully, if it's buffered and things and everything's done. And John, guess the wife. It's my turn. Yes, Stan, you're the one whose wife is always causing trouble. I'm only joking. She never causes trouble. Good crack tonight. Enjoyable as always. Hope everyone has a good weekend. Bye, John. Yeah, lads. I'll say it again. Good luck. I'll see you next week. Same time, 8 o'clock Friday evening, and we'll have another subject to go on. So enjoy. See you later.